Hi, this is Tom Osberg, aka Ginger Khan, and you're listening to Void Signal with Brian McClelland.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Just hanging out. Cooked some dinner for my lovely wife here not long ago, and enjoying my evening. How about you?
Just finishing up the last second of the last song for the first step of the mastering I got to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's it. It kind of was just taking care of that, and that's it. I'm done for the day.
Awesome.
So then after our chat, I'm gonna go home and enjoy some crime documentaries and some food.
Awesome. But first and foremost, I did watch the Candyman remake on your recommendation. Man, it was so good, but it like the ending credits felt very much like sort of Requiem for a Dream. Like I felt like a little bit relieved.
Right.
Like there was a lot of like tension and like pressure that I didn't quite realize was there, but it was very haunting. I mean, given the current climate with, the United States and the world at large.
Totally.
But that does also kind of tie me into a question that I have been wanting to ask you. So,
Okay.
You have not been afraid to be very vocal about things that you feel passionately about, and
Right.
I look at that as an asset, and it's one of the things I appreciate about you. But I also recognize that there's a certain amount, especially contrasted against the Neil Young Spotify kind of a thing.
Right.
I've also feel that activism is a bit of a luxury. And
Right.
do you feel that it's worth maybe losing a handful of fans here and there because of your opinions, or just what is it that led you to be so outspoken about how you feel, I guess?
Well, I don't feel like I'm super outspoken. More so, I like to stir the pot and get a conversation happening.
Mm-hmm.
I like to shine a little bit of light on people's differing opinions. There are some things that I kind of will share my frustrations about and stuff, but I try and do it away from the band. Like, the band doesn't have to be political, but like something like Spotify, it's like, the people have spoken and they want convenience, and people, a lot of musicians, they shit on Spotify, but people have short attention spans. Like, musicians have short attention spans. Like, back in the day, you would have killed to have a platform like Spotify.
Right.
I don't care. I wouldn't care if Spotify paid $0, because it's worth its weight in gold for promotional material. Like,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to connect and listen and discover, it's a crazy good tool. And then people are like, well, someone like Daniel Graves, he's written some really interesting stuff about it, like From Aesthetic Perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And he breaks it down for people because he spends more time trying to explain to people than I would care to.
Right.
And I have no problem with that. I think he's a really cool guy. He's a really smart guy. He's figured out a way to navigate the music industry in a way that he's streamlined the business model that works to his advantage, right?
Right.
And so I just think that people who are closed-minded and think they know everything and whatever, it's like it's there's more moving pieces to it, and I like to create a dialogue and shit post a little bit and entertain myself, and
Right.
like I can't imagine, maybe aside from like kind of leaning towards like, hey, let's get vaccinated. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, I don't think I've been too political. Do you think I have?
I mean, I don't want to say political. I think that, I mean, especially when it comes to, vaccination, right. That was something that you were very unafraid to sort of, put your foot down on. And I mean, I admire that. I mean, I would hope that more artists were inclined to do such a thing, to be able to say like, hey, if this is my opinion, if you don't like it,
right.
or this is my conclusions based on these sort of facts or factors.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. It's almost kind of sad that I have to find it refreshing when you decided to do that.
Right. Well, when you say like luxury, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a position where up until like fairly recently in my life, my social network of friends and acquaintances had to do with very localized, like Vancouver, my work circle, people I went to school with at some point. But once we started to tour, and our friends network expanded to like, I keep in touch with people from Berlin and New York and Chicago and Los Angeles and Paris and all over the world, right? And so you I feel like it was kind of like getting the sense of like you just get a sense that something is it helps you form I believe a more informed opinion when you can kind of rule out, oh, this is just like my local government, or my country is like, oh, our prime minister is an idiot, get rid of this guy. It's like, yeah, all politicians are idiots, but you can see science from around the world or how it's affecting people economically, like it's like
Sure.
I just saw it as like I didn't want to see life continue to like to people to get really sick and no one being able to go anywhere. And to me, I saw that as the quickest way out of it was was vaccination.
Right. And it's a pretty interesting topic too, especially when you sort of I'm not going to go too deep into this, but like there is a have you ever heard of Dan Carlin? He's a podcaster, does hardcore history.
I haven't, no.
He has a side show called Hardcore History Addendum, and he had Max Brooks on there, son of Mel Brooks that wrote
oh yeah, I know
World War Z. Yeah. A very smart guy, but he was talking about asymmetrical warfare and explaining about how you had Russian bots like planting the seeds of doubt like 20 years ago on message boards about vaccinations. And it's just like, on the one hand, I love that the internet has allowed you to sort of, everybody to sort of connect and start having big conversations about unionization and politics and like, hey, I don't approve of this or I don't like that. And I think discourse is good, especially on a global scale. But I also like there is, I don't know, for all the positivity, there are dead weights that are hanging on that are like, yeah, it's great that, we can connect so easily to people who want to enjoy our art, or maybe they're just a kindred spirit that we can sort of talk to every now and again. But I feel like it also sort of, it allowed a bunch of, outside forces, outside meddling, like white supremacists and shit like that. So I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, truly.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like for myself, like, first of all, I don't think I'm Mr. Smarty Pants, and I don't think that I know everything.
I mean, you look very smart, like your glasses and your haircut.
Yeah,
like you strike me as like
hair.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Jason Corbett fucking knows. Like, look at the way how sharply dressed he is. Like, he obviously has an informed opinion.
Okay, let me put it really simply. All you have to do is go to like a YouTube comment section to realize how many fucking idiots there are in the world. And so, are those idiots easily manipulated? Hell yeah. Do some people feel powerless and are easy targets for right-wing ideology, etc., and or whatever else you like? Yeah, of course. Like people are afraid to. People had their up in arms about the vaccine, because if you accept that the vaccine actually helps us, and our immune systems need the help, then you're accepting to yourself that we're in a pretty scary predicament, and Mother Nature is strong, and we're powerless in the wake of Mother Nature if that's the direction she wants to go. And so I believe there's an element of cognitive dissonance that happens as well. And so people choose a narrative that best fits their idea of what it means to survive,
Right. I mean, I don't know. I've the thing that I've kind of discovered throughout life is that when it comes to certain, if someone's looking for something, they will find it. And it might not be accurate, but it doesn't matter because they're looking for it. And when they find it, like, it might be, it's whatever belief or echo chamber they have been looking for and seeking, and people don't seek out inconvenient truths.
No.
But well,
ultimately, I want people to be happy. I want people to be healthy, because we all deserve that, and I think we all need to respect each other and treat each other with understanding. And love is the only true religion, and I think we all need to adhere to that, and we'd be much better off if we did.
I agree. So acts of worship. Love the memes that have erupted from the cover.
Fun.
Those have been quite the thing to sort of watch what people come up with. It's been very amusing. But like from your perspective, I've also noticed that you've been working on like actors merchandise, and I've seen a lot of that going out. Looks really cool. I haven't been able to purchase any of it myself as of yet, but it seems like sort of you've had to maybe shift a little bit to trying to sort of do music adjacent sort of a financial what the fuck am I trying to say here? Like I don't fucking know. Forget it. It's
no, I know exactly what you're saying. You're like we're trying to oh yeah, see now I'm forgetting the word. It's like just adding another revenue stream on top of the music itself.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. We're trying to augment for me, I just think I like merch. I buy tons of band shirts from other bands, and then when I'm on the road, I buy all the cool shirts. I have boxes and boxes of shirts. So that's just something I like. And in terms of like us blasting out some shirts and stuff, for me, it's just fun. It's a way to advertise. It can be a nice injection into whatever we're working on, because you can't just make you just can't do album after album every 6 months, right?
Right.
There's an emotional process that I go through to make an album, and I don't like rushing in that. But also, there comes a time to promote the record and to promote who you are, and But at my studio, I work full time. The whole pandemic, I've been just, to the grindstone with so many great artists. And there's half a dozen records coming out this year that I produced and mixed, and in some cases co-wrote. And so it's a really exciting time for me. And yeah, the merch is just it's just a matter of keeping us on social media. I don't want to make TikTok videos of the band dancing around to like a Kool and the Gang song,
Oh, you don't want to do that?
No, I sure don't.
Oh, well, all right. Okay. Oh,
Fine.
Jason Corbett's too cool, I guess. Oh.
Fine, I'll do it.
All right, sweet. I'll be looking for it. Yeah, the album has been really great, and just as emotional as sort of the first record, and everything else that you've done that I've heard. And man, you're right. Like you've had your fingers in a lot of pies, so to speak, with artists lately. I think the most recent one that there was one that was like a sort of a metal kind of project, right? Or
you're thinking Ritual Dictates. I mastered that record.
Yeah.
The new one that's coming out. Let's see what just came out. The Gathering's new record, and this, and then of course the year before there was Bootblacks, Spectres, and then coming up we've got we're gonna start releasing the singles for the Leathers record, and that's gonna be happening really soon. And then I'm co-producing a really fantastic artist from Vancouver named Louise Burns, who was in a band back in the day called Lilacs that was on Madonna's label. We've been friends for years, so that's a record coming out. Frankie is another record with 2 I's and an E, Frankie. Bo Wheeler. So these are all like full-length albums that are just kind of in the final stages of tracking / mixing, and it's just been really fun. Bootblacks are coming out to Vancouver in the spring. We're going to start tracking their new record.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, and I've been mastering a ton of records too. It's been just so much fun.
You've been a very busy man, and you're also quite active on social media, it seems.
Yeah, I have a problem.
I mean, everybody who is following or friends with you or whatever, I mean, we all get to benefit. Like, we get to watch.
Sure.
Like,
I hope so.
I mean, I
hope people aren't too annoyed by my stupid comments.
We always get to see the hot takes and everything, so that's fun. Pushing the social buttons as you do. So tour's kicking off soon. That's super exciting, and then I can't wait to hear what the Bootblacks make next. Thin Skies was like probably one of the best records of was that 2021 that came out?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it seems longer than that, but
I know I don't. I have no concept of time really. And it's just, I've been in my studio. I opened up my invoice folder on my computer. I was like, holy shit, it's been 8 years in my studio space. And I remember it seemed like 2 years ago where I signed like a 5-year lease on the room and started moving my stuff in, thinking like, oh my God, I'm really committing to something here. But time just flew by, and it's been so exciting to just live out my dream, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you really are. It's been, you do have a really good story. I think it's really compelling. Just sort of like, it wasn't that long ago that was the anniversary of the release of Post-Traumatic Love.
Right.
And
yeah, it's this year. Yeah.
Yeah. How long ago was it? What's the anniversary? Is it 10?
10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that to me already seems like that 10 years ago already felt like I was 10 years past missing the boat to be able to make a living off music. Like,
right.
So in a weird way, I'm in like this suspended state of like, arrested development almost, where it's like, I feel like I'm, 28 years old and just drinking life,
Right. But in reality, you're actually, you're approaching 55 now. Is that correct?
Yeah. Not quite. No.
But it is really cool to hear your story and hear how you've how Actors has grown, and the success that you've had. It's wonderful. It's good to see, and it's a story that I think more people should hear, just because you got to do what you wanted to do, and that feels so rare, and you got to do it on your terms, being the person you wanted to be, and I think that's wonderful.
That's what I'm super thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I think about Actors and, fortunately meeting Jacek and Jeremy at Artifact Records, and then trusting them to, help us with the process. And then my band members, first, Adam, Shannon, and first Jamil, and then now Kendall, and then just all the people who we've met. That's what it feels like. It's we've done it on our own terms, and we've had fun with it. We've been sincere with it, and I just want to keep growing that and doing that, and that to me is just the reward in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree, and I was talking to Tom Alsberg from Brides of the Black Room not long ago, and he said this thing that just stuck with me, which was that he was talking about how, like, nobody in this scene is really like doing it for the financial success, right? Everybody's just kind of doing it because he said that music is his religion, and he is just a priest of that religion, no pun intended, because he was a priest, but whatever. That stuck with me, because it was like, I feel like when people kind of hear the call of what makes them happy and what they were kind of meant to do, the income doesn't matter when you're in service to whatever it is that you believe in. But it has been wonderful to watch Actors grow and bloom, and win awards and top this list and that list, and it's been great to see. So
yeah, it's been nice, and I'm really happy that people have stuck around for the ride and embraced the new record too. The new record's just doing phenomenally well for us, and to see the growth, it's just been really nice. The tour dates are getting bigger and better, and it feels a bit different, because the first time around with It Will Come to You in 2018, everything was the first time,
right?
So it was like, holy shit, like, look at this, look at that, look at this show, like, and everything was just kind of coming at us, whereas now there's more of a gauge, and you can kind of temper your expectations, but also, set new goals for yourself. And it's going to be nice being on tour, because it's going to be Kendall's first time seeing all these different countries and different cities and being on these stages. And it's going to be nice, living vicariously through that excitement as well.
Right. And I know you mentioned Leathers and how you guys have been working on that. So that record is not that far off, is that right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
We're gonna be dropping the first single fairly soon. There's gonna be videos and singles, and it's a really good record.
Gotcha. I mean, I have no doubt the EP was wonderful. I actually interviewed Ethan Morales at one point from Spawn Ranch Noir, and he was like, "Oh, the new Leathers EP is wonderful," and he just was gushing over it.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great dude. I love his music as well. Noir.
Well, Shannon's got such a nice voice. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
She it's just likable.
It is, yeah. Like, her contributions to Acts of Worship were so refreshing. Like, I love your David Bowie-esque crooning as much as everybody else does. But it, especially like Cold Eyes, like something about it, her voice just comes through so loud and clear, and
yeah,
it's wonderful. It was wonderful.
She really embodies the feminine of the lyrics, because she understands, she's there with me the whole time through the process of the album, and it's from its beginnings to the completion, and she's just so woven into all of it. And these songs, to me, it's there is, and I've said this in our press release and stuff, but there's a feminine side to the music that I felt was really important to have her voice more, and create that kind of balance, feminine and male balance,
man, she really does bring a lot, not only to the record but to the band.
Sure.
And I don't know, I feel like everybody does. Like even the Cold Eyes video, like, Adam is just like, here's somebody who's like into it. Like, and I mean, I had the benefit of seeing you guys live in here in Reno at like, some tiny little thing. And it was very an intimate space. You have band members that love playing this music and being a part of the band as much as you do. Is it just because you're so benevolent and great? Like, what's the secret sauce, I guess, of like getting these people together and just, are they just drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak?
No, well, actors. Okay, so Adam was with me from my last band, and I was kind of transitioning. So like the first actor show was really mostly members of my last band, but just went through a rebranding. I was producing the music solely and mixing it myself as opposed to working with other people who were mixing. And it didn't feel right. And slowly, a couple different members changed here and there. And I wasn't 100% sold that actors was going to be something that I was going to hang my hat on and like go touring around the world with. Now, Shannon just almost, I had started working with Shannon, talking to her about leathers, and she just so happened to fill in on keyboards for a show. And being on stage with her, even at such a primitive, just on this like really just intrinsic feeling of the band felt correct.
Right.
And it's a feeling I've never had my whole life, and I've been playing music since I was 14. Like, there was something about, I knew there was a proof of concept there that was what that I could feel it, and I was like, I could see how people respond to the music differently. It was just, and I was ready, and I just knew it, and I think the band felt that too. And whatever apprehensions we may have had, the first couple of shows we played in the States were dead. Like, nobody was there. We played in Seattle to like 8 people. And then we came back a couple months later and we played a sold out show with people lined up down the street. Right. It was like a Cinderella story for us. And when you start connecting and talking to the fans, to people, I don't even want to call people fans. They become friends, right? And once you start connecting to that and feeling like, oh, what we're doing makes a difference, people are into it. They want to know more about us because the music's touched them in a certain way. And I think the whole band just really likes every aspect about what we're doing. And it makes it's not a job anymore. It just becomes like a lot of fun. Yeah. And it's not it's once in a lifetime so far for me, that feeling that family within the band.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that it does sort of extend to fans. I mean, it was something that I didn't understand, that you certainly kind of course corrected me on, was it manifests in people differently, and gratitude does. And I guess that's what I want to call it, is that it's like, I went and saw Actors here in Reno at the Holland Project, and it was like, I want to say tickets were like $8 or like $10, like something like nothing, right? Like, for an all ages show. And it was, I mean, that's why I made sure to like buy some merch and everything. But it was,
thank you.
It felt like such a steal. Like, oh, I'm getting to see Actors for like $8. Like, what? It was such a pittance. But man, like, and huge shout out here to Kim and everybody in the Academy. Like, you've really like fostered a family, sort of an atmosphere within this kind of community with your fans. And I've seen similar with do you know Alice, that band? They have like the number 1 for their eye.
I don't believe I know them.
really good, really interesting, sort of.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, they did the same thing. Like, I had them on the show recently, and they have like a whole Facebook community group that's like set up just for them and their fans. And it's like, when you join, like, oh, hey, welcome to the club. We stream on Saturdays, and you can order this like welcome kit that has like download codes for their music, and assign this and assign that. And I was like, between my experience seeing that side of it, and also with you and fans of actors and Boot Blacks and Leathers and all of these people, like, it feels very much like a community that's being sort of nurtured. And I mean, something I noticed about the Academy in particular, and all the actors, fans, and adjacent bands that are in that, there's a lot of talented people in there who like, oh, I made this, or oh, I made that, or I'm starting a podcast, or whatever it might be. It's pretty amazing, honestly, to sort of behold and see how people will, choose to align and group themselves around particular beacons. And it's wonderful that actors and Leathers and Boot Blacks have become such a beacon, I guess.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. I feel like that dialogue is missing. When we grow up, when we're going to school, in high school, like even like beyond, like I feel like we're not really taught to take chances or really follow through on our dreams. Like we want to like have backup plans and like, the status quo, and I think it takes a lot of guts to play music. It takes a lot of guts to share your art. And not everyone is going to tour the world and sell a bunch of records, but everyone deserves a place at the table to share their music and to share their art, and support each other in a positive way. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And if I can be a part of that in my small way, then that makes me feel like, I'm giving back and passing on the support that I've received.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, sort of on that note, that's why I'm so grateful for you coming on the show here.
Oh, my pleasure.
I greatly appreciate your time. It's always wonderful to chat with you. And, like many others, your music has been there for me at a time when I really needed it. And I mean, I'm sure, you've received plenty of thank yous, but
never enough.
Yeah, never enough, right?
Feel free to thank me.
Hey, thanks, Jason. You're the best, man.
Thank you. But, it goes both ways. Mm-hmm. People say, oh, I listened to your album a lot during the pandemic, and it was dark times. And but, I feel like I'm doing something positive. I feel like I'm being bolstered up, and coming on a podcast like yourself, it's like, wow, I get to share some of my opinions, and hopefully maybe that brightens someone's day up, or maybe it turns them on to picking up our record. And ultimately, these songs and what Actors does at the heart of it is we're just sharing in that human condition of these emotions and feelings. And when you can tap into something that's just universal enough that you can find your fan base and your people, that can be a really special thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It really can. And one of the highlight for me recently was I saw somebody in the Academy that was like, my interview with Stabbing Westward, Chris Hall mentioned listening to how, your first record helped him get through the pandemic. And then that person was like, that's how I found Actors. And I was like, oh God, that like, it hit me right in the feels of like, this is what I wanted. Like, this is the reason I make a podcast, is to take, these individual artists that I find so compelling, so interesting, so wonderful, and, tie the strings between them.
It's pretty neat.
It is. It's pretty wonderful. I like it. Well, the other thing I wanted to ask you about, in terms of horror film remakes, so really loved Candyman, although it reminded me of all the terrible amounts of racial injustice.
Right. But
the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre that's coming out soon looks dreadful.
Really? Dreadful bad or scary?
Dreadful bad. like too much
Yeah.
emphasis on Leatherface, kind of, and
Yeah.
like I don't watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre for Leatherface. Like, he's not a
Yeah.
Jason Voorhees or a Michael Myers. Like, but the Evil Dead remake was quite good. That was not long ago, and
Yeah.
there's some good ones out there, but yeah.
Yeah, like Candyman, I felt like about 3/4 of the way through the movie, there was some weird kind of edits where I was like, huh, what? Where are we now? What's going on?
Yeah.
But overall, I really liked the tone of the film. Like, I thought there was some really good cinematography, and the special effects were cool.
Mm-hmm.
And, they weren't trying to like jump scare you all the time. It was just like kind of like this creepiness.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really neat, and it was refreshing because so many times the horror movies just don't look cool, like.
Right.
So I really like the artistry of how it was filmed. I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah. It felt very smart. Too,
yes.
And that was something I liked. I'm always a fan of a film that doesn't treat the audience like they're dumb. And it put a pretty stark spotlight on ideas like gentrification, and helped the audience understand what that might be without being so like, I'm gonna beat you over the head with like, this is what this is and why it can be bad. I really admire it for that reason. Like, I feel like there's not a lot of films that come along that have such a important kind of a message to it. Like,
right.
I mean, I felt like when the credits rolled that I was supposed to feel like the Candyman is a villain, but I don't. So I don't know. It's such a strange character to play with.
Yeah, he's not really a villain in the end, is he?
No, not really. And
if I'm remembering correctly, did everyone Candyman kill in the movie? Were they all white? Or no, the one guy's sister, I think, maybe was killed in the washroom. But I was just, after I watched it, I was kind of like, okay, this person, that person, that person, and so I was wondering if that was another whole part of the equation of the social kind of narrative of the film.
I wasn't sure. I mean, I know that was an apparent grab when I first, was watching it, is that it like that stood out to me a little bit, but I don't know, I was kind of okay with it, like being that way. So.
I love the Joy Division jokes with the assistant to the curator.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that as well, because I even was like, I was like, oh, of course she's wearing a fucking Joy Division shirt,
I did the same thing, and then they doubled down on it, and I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I was like, when the moment that they acknowledged it, I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that, this is being addressed. Yeah, that was a blast. It was very smart.
Funny.
But it incredibly sad. Like the at the end, and I love the little interludes with the art pieces, like the story.
Right. Yeah, those were nice.
Those were wonderful, except at the end it shows the one that's like it's a young boy who is being taken to the electric chair, and that is true. That is based on a real occurrence in South Carolina in 19... I'm not sure off the top of my head, but they convicted a 14-year-old boy of murder in 3 hours, convicted by, 12 white men. And they executed him. It's horrible. But that's what I assume that's kind of what it's in that particular bit at the end is in reference to, because it shows like two girls and then they point their finger and sort of a thing. But man, that whole sequence at the end just left such a raw impression on me, like in much the same way that Get Out did, probably.
Yeah. Well, Jordan Peele was involved with both films, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He was a producer. He was a producer on Candyman, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy. I greatly appreciate. But I would argue, and I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but I think that as progressive as horror films like the Candyman remake and Get Out might be, I feel like the audience who's going to see those films might be people who are already of that sort of persuasion. Like, here's like people who love horror or people who tend to be into things that are subversive. And so, like, I would think that, like, if you really wanted to try and impress upon somebody what social, racial fear is, I feel like horror fans would be more inclined to maybe already understand that or be receptive to it, maybe. I don't know. I could be talking out my asshole. So,
here's something. We're both talking about Candyman for the past 15 minutes, so it may have done its job.
Yeah, fair enough. Well,
another hot take.
Yeah,
another one of Jason Corbett's hot takes.
I know. You're full of them. Like, what's next for you guys? I know you've got
just the tour.
Just the tour. Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of tour dates that we're going to still be announcing. We announced the UK, but we're hitting more countries than ever before in Europe, and that's happening this fall. We have some exciting announcements for Leathers that's going to be happening, live performances for Leathers that are debuting at some very prestigious shows that we're very excited about. And then, like, once the Leathers record's out, I'm going to be working on. I'm already kind of working on the concepts for the next Actors record. So it's just exciting times.
It is. Well, I'm happy to hear all that.
Thanks.
Looking forward to it. And I'll be catching you guys in Sacramento, so it'll be fun to catch up and everything. A friend of mine here in town, Corey, he's just like. He and his wife, Maureen, are just like huge fans. I saw them last weekend or maybe 2 weekends ago. And, his wife was just like, oh, I'm so glad that you had me listen to Acts of Worship. I just love that record. And yeah, it's great. Like you're touching people without needing to, I guess.
Yeah, it would be like I'm kind of waiting for this tipping point where Actors kind of crosses over into not mainstream. Mainstream is not what I'm thinking, but just like tapping into the consciousness of a wider audience. Just because I want to share. Yeah. And I want to continue to share, and I want it to grow, and it's exciting, and just it's all positive, all good things.
All good things.
Yes,
we like good things on Void Signal, so that's good.
Truth comes out in every way.
be sensitive of your time. We've already been talking for about 43 minutes. And I apologize. My mind has just been all over the place as far as like, oh, I want to talk about this. And, oh, hey, Jason, have you heard this?
Oh,
and,
no. It's always good to talk to you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. So the other thing I wanted to ask you is, I usually close the show with the same question, which is, what are you enjoying right now? Like, what's the last thing that really just sort of, grabbed you? Did you get a chance to watch the music video I sent over by chance?
The kite video?
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to watch it yet because I was just finishing up some mastering. So,
I thought you were, didn't you know that you're supposed to like put your life on hold when I send you something? Okay.
Yes. That's why tonight when I go home, I'm just going to watch the video. And that's
okay.
It.
Yeah, please do.
What's been grabbing me lately? Oh boy, that's a good question. I've just been so immersed with the artists that I'm working with and just really having a wonderful time with that. Mm-hmm. And then just, watching. I really liked the last season, the last half season, because the second half of the season isn't out yet, but Ozark.
Oh yeah, I heard somebody mention that to me just the other day. I think it was Tosh Cox from Alice. She was like, second season of Ozark.
It was so cool. Ruth, the young blonde woman who's always trying to kind of get her angle. There's a scene where she's like yelling at the family, saying like, if you want to stop me, you're gonna have to fucking kill me, and she like screams it, and I'm like, yeah, girl.
All right, I'm gonna have to check it out then, I guess. Like, this is the second time it's been recommended to me in like less than a week. Good. So
pretty intense.
The second season of The Witcher was fun. If you haven't seen that, it's I had to rewatch like the first season because it didn't quite. There was something I felt a little weird about it. But after rewatching it and then watching the second season, I was like, okay, I get it. Like it's it's a little bit Xena and Hercules, and that's okay. Like the cheese that's there is enjoyable cheese. It's high quality Gouda is what's on offer.
That's good.
Yeah.
A mozzarella.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you like. But yeah, it's been fun to watch that. And then there's also been this The Green Knight. Have you seen that yet?
Oh, I haven't seen that. Is it good?
Oh, man, it's so good. It's like it's one of those films kind of like either one of the Blade Runners where you can just sort of pause it anywhere, and the cinematography, whatever you have on the screen, is going to be just like breathtaking, just like a piece of art in itself. Man, the color and everything in it is just, it's so good. It was really a treat to sit and watch.
Nice.
I've also been meaning to check out Prisoners of the Ghostlands. That's like Nicolas Cage's new film.
Oh, right.
It looks pretty crazy. But
yeah,
I'm
the last one that I really liked from him was Mandy.
Yeah, we both have a huge crush on that movie. I do quite love it.
It's good. It's good, and I've watched it over and over.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to it than just Nicolas Cage going crazy and stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
I just think it's just a really nice piece of art.
Yeah, absolutely. And the soundtrack's phenomenal, like next level.
Great.
Are we ever going to see you do any soundtracks for anything? Is that something that you've considered at any point?
I've definitely I worked with Peter Reek from the band Humans. We did a soundtrack called for his movie that he wrote and directed called Dead Shack, and that's on Shudder.
Okay.
So all the music on that we did together. I didn't compose it, but I produced it and mixed it with him.
Gotcha.
But in terms of composer, like I've done music for a TV show called Letterkenny. I've done some music, albeit just a little amount so far, for a TV show, an offshoot of Letterkenny called Shoresy. But that's kind of like in small amounts. I would really like to dig in and do like a an extensive, like really cool, science fiction or horror type movie or a drama that I could really sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
I was doing a little kind of short films here and there with a couple different directors I knew, but kind of like the last couple of years, I feel like the pandemic kind of slowed people down in certain aspects of filmmaking, but no, it's I see that down the road for sure.
Yeah, well, that's exciting, and I'll definitely check out Dead Shack. It was.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
it's a really entertaining movie. Like when I first saw it, like I was like, oh my god, we did this music for it. He's my friend. What if it's really bad? And I watched it. It's like, damn, this is a good movie. It's funny.
right.
It's not. It's just a fun, campy horror movie with a great soundtrack.
Okay, I'm into it. Like, I love that. Have you seen? Do you know Clint Carney at all from System Sin?
No.
His movie was on Amazon. I think it's on Shudder now, maybe as well.
Right.
But his film is Dry Blood, and he did all the visual effects for it and everything, as well as producing it, and he stars in it as well. He's wonderful. He's splendid in it.
Cool.
It's a great film. Again, it's one of those lower budget horror film that has a lot going for it and is a fun watch. But
called Dry Blood?
Dry Blood. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna watch it.
Okay. Clint's great. Clint is a wonderful, wonderful human being. His music's sad as fuck, so you two have that kind of in common.
What?
Yeah. So, I mean, your music's fucking sad a lot of the times. I mean, let's be real. It is. It's
upbeat sad.
Yeah, upbeat sad. Yeah. Well, that's the next actor's T-shirt, right? Is upbeat sad. Yeah,
that's the new album. Yeah.
Well, hey, you're welcome. I'm glad I could contribute. Well, I will. I want to be respectful of your time, so I'm going to let you go and eat and enjoy the rest of your evening. But thank you again for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
I appreciate it. I know a great place to grab lunch when you guys hit Sacramento. If you have time, I don't know anything about touring, but
probably it would be dinner, because we basically roll in time for sound check, because we check out of a hotel, boom, hit the road, and there's usually between 4 to 6 hour drive time. So lunch is usually in a gas station or a Denny's.
Right. Denny's.
My favorite is not Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel's pretty good. Like, it's one of those like corporate chains that like people like to shit on, but fuck, I like their food. Like,
it's awesome.
Yeah, big fan of that. If you like Cracker Barrel, there's a place that's in. I know there's some in the South, but I think there was one. I ran into one in Salt Lake City. It's a place called Perkins, and it's.
Oh yeah, we've eaten at Perkins.
Oh, Perkins is wonderful. Like,
yeah, Perkins is good.
It's always just slammed with like old folks, but like I mean, who cares? Like the
same with Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, same with Cracker Barrel. They just all those old people. They just love those little.
And what we do at all the. Every time we eat Cracker Barrel, I always tell the waitress that it's someone's birthday in the band, and so we get like a free dessert.
Oh wow!
It works some of the time, every time.
Here's another tip I'll give you that has worked out generously for me. It's a bit unethical, but that's okay. I'm morally
robbing banks.
Right. Well, no, close. But I mean, see, like, I don't know, when it comes to like stealing from major corporations or taking advantage of major corporations,
you're down with that.
Yeah, the amount of remorse I feel is zero. So, if you when you go to book a hotel room, like a nice one, if you say, "Oh, it's my anniversary, my wife and I, blah blah blah," like they'll leave like free shit in your room, like, here's money, or here's like a pass for our in-hotel restaurant, or here's a bottle of champagne, and here's some chocolates, and like they will do whatever if you just mention it even just a little bit. Like, you ask for something innocuous, like, oh, it's our anniversary. Could you put some extra towels or whatever? They'll just go ahead and leave all kinds of shit. So, yeah.
And then I just point at one of the band members and say, it's my wife.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just pick one or pick all of them. You can just be like, yeah, we're all conjoined in union.
I'll just pick Adam.
Yeah, and then be like, we're celebrating all of our anniversaries. And yeah, there you go.
Well, I like the tip.
Hey, you're welcome. You can also order expensive things from Amazon and then just tell them that it never arrived. So.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
It's cool. It's wonderful. Well, you enjoy that. You get to
my brain just like started to melt with ideas. So.
Yeah, I mean, you do your part, and because I mean, like they have insurance, like they can afford it. It's fine.
Do they sell tour vans?
It's possible at this point.
Perfect.
Yeah, I saw that article the other day that I think you mentioned something on. You had another hot take on. It was like the LA band rents Mercedes-Benz van to, and it's like fucking yeah, what a heartwarming story of, whoa, pull up your bootstrap, get the fuck out of here. Like what?
You know what though? Over in Europe, that's what you drive.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not as fancy as it looks. It's just funny how they told the story.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we drive in like a pretty good van at all times. We rent like a quality van. Sometimes we have a minivan. Sometimes we have like over in Europe, like a Mercedes Sprinter or something.
Right.
And the one thing I promised myself and the band when we first started deciding we were going to tour and support the record was no sleeping on the floor, no sleeping in the van. We are getting hotels every night, and that's what we do.
Nice. That's quite the step up. I approve. All right, well, I will let you get out of here, and again, I appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your evening, and
thanks. You too.
We'll talk again soon. Take care.
Okay. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
If you want more Void Signal content, then please visit voidsignal.net. Here you'll find additional information about the show, including merchandise that you can buy to support the show, because my boy Brian here, he has got to pay the rent. voidsignal.net.